Joining me on the line as he does every Friday on the show, he is from Cinemablend.com. He is a movie genius, friends. His name is Mike Reyes. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well after that introduction. How are you?
I'm doing very good. And real quick, very nice of you to ask this week. I got a chance to go on your guys' other podcast, Overdue Rentals. I don't think the episode is out yet, but I just want to say in front of everybody, thank you so much. I really had a blast doing that the other night. So,
dude, it was so good to have you. And then it was even funnier considering Matthew, my partner in crime on that show, sends me an email later that night. And it's like, we didn't know it was Claude Rains' birthday that day. And the person who pointed it out was Michael McKean, who, since we were talking about Memoirs of an Invisible Man on this episode, we were just, gushing about that man. And it was just too good not to retweet. And it's like, this is a big coincidence. We should get him on the show.
Well, Mike, again, thank you so much for having me on. I know you guys kind of reserve that for the bigwig movie people that have something really to do with it, but I did have a great time. We've got a lot to get to today, so let's not, as they say, dilly-dally around. Where do you want to start this week? Because there are some interesting movies out.
This is a really wild spectrum of movies this week, and I'm wondering if we should go worst to best.
Okay, well, there's two kids movies. I don't know much about Red Notice or Belfast. Let's start with the one that's probably going to get the most press this weekend, then Home Sweet Home Alone. It's a reboot of the original Home Alone, right?
It's a legacy sequel. Technically, it's a legacy sequel because it exists in the same continuity. It's no secret that Buzz McAllister from Home Alone is a cop in here. And we get to learn a little more about what the McAllister family has been up to in the years after the film. But it's not a big part of the movie. And neither is the DNA of Home Alone because Disney Plus, your Home Alone legacy sequel. Woof. You know what? If you're going to invoke the legacy of a Christmas movie, you best expect that I'm going to come at you with a reference, whether I like it or not. And I am not a fan of this movie. I mean, okay, basic concept of this movie, at least what it should have been, or what it's trying to be is a kid played by Archie Yates from Jojo Rabbit gets left home alone at Christmas because his family's going to Tokyo and they forget about him. And, that feels like it should be the basic kernel of the film, right?
Yeah.
Right? That is just like, it really didn't even need to be in there. They did not need to retread that ground for Home Alone. They go to the point of, they stock this cast with some really good comedic talent and they waste them so hard. Like, there's another story that playing out in this movie with Ellie Kemper and Rob Delaney. They're a couple that are they're in a bit of a financial bind. They're thinking about, they need to sell their house because, the job front's been tight for Rob Delaney's character. And there's this whole thing with like a Hummel doll sort of thing, like a collector's doll supposedly being stolen. And they think it's the kid that, is supposed to be our Home Alone protagonist that stole it. So they're going to break into his house. You're getting exhausted hearing this, aren't you?
Yeah, I have officially hit the point of it's a bad movie, right? That's the long and short of this.
It is a squandered opportunity of the highest degree because you like I said, Ellie Kemper and Rob Delaney, both hysterical. You've got Kenan Thompson in here. You've got Ali Maki. You've got Timothy Simons from Veep and Chris Parnell from Archer in here. And these people barely get to be funny. You could have just flipped this movie where it's a couple that's having problems. They turn to thievery. And then they get you play Home Alone from the side of the bandit and then make them be sympathetic. That's all you really needed. You did not need to do the kid Home Alone again. Like, you could have just had that as your side story. This is 93 minutes, but yet it feels so overstuffed with ideas and references to the original. And there's even points where they're like mimicking a Christmas Story because Max is having these visions of the misunderstandings he's having. And it's like, the hazy memory vision sort of thing.
Okay.
There's a reason this is on streaming.
Excuse me. I'm allergic to horrible movies, so...
Oh, well, bless you. I'm sorry. And we'll just get this out of the way. 3 out of the 4 movies that we're going to be talking about this week are streamers. And you can find Home Sweet Home Alone on Disney Plus. If you really feel tempted to do so, I would suggest go in, watch the scenes where Buzz like is an inept cop, and then lays out how I'm assuming this is how Kevin's fate plays out. Just watch those scenes and then go watch Home Alone and Home Alone 2 again. Well, I prefer the first 3 Home Alone movies over this, and I will include 3.
Well, we all know that Kevin McAllister grows up to be Saw or Jigsaw.
Yeah, well, a legal Jigsaw, because he is now, okay, I'm gonna put it out here. If you don't really feel like watching this movie to find out, spoilers, it looks like Kevin McAllister's become a home safety, like a home security system magnate, because now it's McAllister Industries or something that builds that does home alarms, and that's the home alarm on this kid's house.
Oh, wow. You know what's funny about that? You go back, did you ever see the YouTube thing where they like went through some of the stuff that they did in the Home Alone movie, and it would have murdered these guys?
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, there's always the theories about how his dad was that rich to have that house, and it was like maybe he was a defense contractor, and that could have been an angle.
Or I like the second one where he's just lobbing bricks from the top of a 3-story building at what's his name's head.
That second movie is so brutal.
Yeah, like
between the bricks and the tool chest and the electrocution, like they got off light in Home Alone 1.
Yeah,
there's no surprise that the Wet Bandits and the Sticky Bandits didn't come back for Home Alone 3 because they were probably in comas.
Yeah, they would have been, like, the brick to the head would have killed that guy, like one, and then we would have had a much different movie where Kevin McAllister goes on trial for murder. But anyways, okay, so Home Sweet Home Alone, not that good. Going down your list, let's go to Clifford the Big Red Dog, just because that's one everybody knows the name Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Everybody does know the name Clifford the Big Red Dog, and I will say that the thing this movie gets right 100% is Clifford. It is a CGI creation, and it is a beautiful red baby. I love him. He is a precious dog. It's just a shame that this movie has barely a story to it, because it feels like it knows the basic beats of a kid's movie where, oh, little girl's an outsider. She needs a friend. Here's this cute little red puppy who's at like an animal rescue for unique animals. He needs a friend. And then, oh, evil biotech CEO wants his DNA to help grow crops bigger. And it's like, dude, you could have just been a philanthropist at this point and said, may I have a sample of your dog's DNA, please? I could feed a lot of people and change the world. But no, it doesn't go that route. And it doesn't even build the villainy, or it just kind of throws a whole bunch of stuff into the script. And it's like, because kids' movie, it's not as frustrating as Home Alone, but it's Home Sweet Home Alone, but it's frustrating in its own way.
All right. Next on the list, you sent Belfast.
That's the best movie of the week. I would say switch back to Red Notice before we get to Belfast.
All right, fine. Red Notice. Let's talk about Red Notice there, Mike Reyes.
Okay, so Red Notice, you'll be able to stream Clifford on Paramount Plus before we get any further, but you can also go see it in a movie theater. I'd stream it if you really want to.
Okay.
So Red Notice is in limited theatrical release, but it's streaming on Netflix today. I want to go back and watch this in a movie theater because of how much fun it was to see this. It's written and directed by Rawson Marshall Thurber, who a lot of people would remember. He did Dodgeball.
Okay.
But then he also made We're the Millers. He's done a couple of the Dwayne Johnson movies too, Central Intelligence and Skyscraper. This is much better than Skyscraper. This is much better than some people are giving it credit, because I've heard mixed reviews. But basically, Dwayne Johnson is an FBI criminal profiler who's hiring Ryan Reynolds, the world's second best thief, to try and outsmart the world's first best thief, the Bishop, played by Gal Gadot. And this is the most charming that I have seen Gal Gadot. This is the most fun I've seen her have. I'm sad that no other director has really given her this opportunity, because she is just delightful in this. Ryan Reynolds is delightful in this. Dwayne Johnson's fun, but I feel like he's too reserved because he kind of has to play the straight man in this. And it's okay, but it doesn't work as well for me. But the movie itself is just a lot of damn fun. What would happen if you take an art heist movie but mix it in with some Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark, to the point where you've got Ryan Reynolds whistling the theme for very specific reasons later on in the film. But it's just, it is a fast movie that just Ryan Reynolds is always on, Dwayne Johnson, everybody is always on. Everything is moving constantly, but it doesn't feel like you're just moving for the sake of moving. Like Home Sweet Home Alone does not set up the family, does not really set up the conflict that the kid has with his family like the first one does. But Red Notice is a movie that doesn't skip the steps. It does move from place to place, but at the same time, it keeps things going in a sensible path. And like I said, I want to see this in a movie theater. This is big. This is loud. If you have it by you at a theater, go. But if you got it on Netflix, make sure you got some good sound with you.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line. All right, so for the last movie this week, Belfast, which we tried to do earlier, but that wasn't good enough from old Mike Reyes, so here we are.
No, try harder.
Hey, everybody, it's time for Belfast. The talent is unhappy.
Wow, finally calling me the talent. About damn time.
There you go. All right.
Turn this show around. We'll re-record from the top. I don't care.
Oh, God, no.
I would never do that to you. Yes. Oh, God, I would never do that to you.
Oh, I would never do it. I'd be like, you.
unless something bad happened where, like, the feed got corrupted or the sound was horrible, I would never do that to you.
All right, Belfast. What the hell is this about?
Belfast is Kenneth Branagh's latest movie. He wrote and directed it. It is a semi-autobiographical account of his life growing up in Ireland as a child when the Troubles were, it was the early days of the Troubles in Irish history.
Okay.
And it is centered around a boy named Buddy, played by newcomer Jude Hill, who, for a kid that this is his first acting, or like this is his first movie acting credit, he blew me away in this because the whole film is centered around this boy's outlook on everything. Like, you see the tensions between the Catholics and the Protestants, and, you know, it's a very important piece of Irish history, which if you're not very familiar with it, I would say you either need to familiarize yourself with it before, or you may just need to do it right after, because the movie isn't really a historical piece.
Okay.
It's more following this young boy through this historical moment. And though we do see like the adults and their ways of dealing with these problems, he's in almost every frame of this film. So it's basically like, unless he sees it, we're not seeing it. And it's really good. Like, this is a warm blanket of a film. And what's really interesting about it is it's not too much of a historical tract, but it's not too much of like a personal movie where only Kenneth Branagh would get it. He's opening his own personal history up to the world. And it's almost like you're watching someone's family, like someone else's home movies, but it's not like, we're really watching your home movies. It's like you're understanding someone's life from this. And it's just gorgeously shot. Sound is a very important part of this movie. And it's really just a warm blanket of a heartwarming film. It's probably going to be a huge contender for awards this year.
Huh, interesting. All right, so Belfast, where do you find Belfast?
Belfast is in theaters only, and you will actually be able to see the teaser for the next Downton Abbey movie with it as well.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line to talk about...
Would you rather go watch Eternals? Would you rather go watch Eternals?
No, not really.
I didn't think so.
I did see that Shang-Chi is on Disney Plus now, so we'll probably watch that this weekend.
Oh, Shang-Chi's worth it.
Okay.
Shang-Chi is so worth it.
Right.
And Jungle Cruise is on Disney Plus today, too, which is really interesting because over in the world of news, don't we have something to talk about connecting to Disney Plus?
Yeah, okay, so let's just jump over to the world of news. So today, Friday, segue, everybody. Yeah. We're recording this portion of this, interview at about 11 o'clock Central Time on Friday. And just a few minutes ago, Disney Plus, they started throwing out all their different logos. It's Disney Plus Day, right? Which I didn't know was a thing.
Yeah, Disney Plus loves to toot its horn on November 12th because it's the day that they started up. Even the day that Disney Plus dropped 2 years ago, they had food truck. I was in the city for a screening, and they had donut trucks and free Disney Plus mouse ears, like all over New York to like push this thing. And now 2 years on, it's still a huge celebration where it's another day that Disney just uses their social media feed and says, hey, here's a bunch of logos for stuff coming out.
Yeah.
In between like trailers for some things, like I think Will Smith's series Welcome to Earth.
Well, we're supposed to get a trailer for Obi-Wan later on today.
Yep, we're supposed to be getting a Kenobi trailer at some point. We have the first photo from the set of Hocus Pocus 2. I'm seeing I don't know if this is a concept art picture, but Old Man Fury, it looks like.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, like I think that might be something from, first photos of Moon Knight are out with Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
And then I think the Old Man Fury might have been from Secret Invasion.
Yeah, so here are some of the titles they came out with. X-Men 1997, or 97, I should say.
Yeah, which is animated extension of the original X-Men animated series.
We have Secret Invasion, which, God, that could be a really, really, instead of doing like the universe is in danger type, scenario that the first part of the MCU was, Secret Invasion would be a great series of like 9 movies.
Yeah, that probably would have been a good arc.
It would have been a great arc after, to me at least, after you do something where it's like, hey, we wiped out half the universe and then we brought half the universe back, which sets up, Celestials and all that. Like this would have been just a good, like, hey, it's on Earth. It's a whodunit type thing, and you could have multiple movies. And you could have people go back through multiple old movies going, okay, that's not really, that can't be Nick Fury,
Yeah, but at the same time, you can do that all in one movie probably, because clearly SpiderMan Far From Home did that with the whole, I'm pissed off at Tony Stark, and here's the points in history that I decided to screw with him.
Yeah. I could see it both ways. Some of the other stuff, Marvel Zombies, an animated original series. Agatha, House of Harkness. The Marvel, I don't know what they're going to do with Marvel Zombies. I don't know how many stories you can tell with Marvel Zombies.
You can tell so many. That's not the problem. The problem is, this is Marvel Zombies. There was some really gruesome in the Marvel Zombies comic.
Yes,
and I get that you did a What If episode about Marvel Zombies, and I still haven't watched any of What If. Put it back in the deck. I'll watch it at some point, and you got season 2 of What If coming as well. They announced that.
Yep.
But you did it as a one-off in What If. I get that. You could probably get away with not delving into some of the nastier details, but there are really nasty details, and how are you going to tell all of these stories without them? Yeah. I get that you did a What If episode. I get that now Zombie Captain America's in the park for Halloween, but Zombie Peter Parker's intestines got to pop out at some point.
No, that's the thing.
Have to eat their children.
That was the thing about the one Spider-Man thing. Sandman just thought he was a zombie.
Okay.
In the comic, Peter wasn't a zombie, and he thought he was a zombie, so he dove in his mouth and exploded him, and he just killed regular old Peter Parker, Spider-Man.
Oh. Well, I haven't read it in a while, so I don't remember that. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No.
Sorry I interrupted you.
No, I'm sorry. I just remember that because it's one of the most gruesome like pieces of comic ever, and Spider-Man's my favorite.
I just remember. That's exactly what I remember. I may not remember the details, but I just remember gruesome and exciting and fun and dark. And how do you do that with an animated series on Disney Plus?
I don't know. Well, here's the other thing. Are people wanting it because they think there's an actual story there, or are they wanting it because they just want to see the gruesome stuff? Does that make sense?
I think they want it because not only is it gruesome, but it's exciting. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's not what we're getting from Marvel right now, which is really bordering on extremely sanitized and just too cold and corporate, and I still don't know where they're going. Part of
it also comes from me on my end is I'm just not a huge zombie guy.
Yeah, well, I get that there was a boom in the mid-aughts that kind of, brought them back. So some people are probably tired of it because it was a fad for a little while.
Yeah. All right. Also going down the list, Agatha, House of Harkness. It's like, okay, I guess we need that.
I mean, I would have no problem with that just because I really enjoy Catherine Hahn. She was probably the best part of WandaVision, but yeah, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's one of those ones. It's are you doing a prequel or are you doing something else? So, let's see. Ironheart, that could be interesting. Because that
Did they say that it was a series? Because I thought that was gonna. Oh wait, I think they did say that was gonna be a
Marvel
series.
Studios Ironheart in an original series coming to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So that's oh god, I can't remember her name. She basically finds a suit of Iron Man and an AI version of Tony Stark and builds her own Iron Man suit.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's why the end of Endgame was so interesting, where people were asking the question, was the video of Tony Stark, was it just a recording or was it an AI? Because it looked at her at the very end to say I love you 3000.
Huh.
Yeah, exactly. So, in I Am Groot animated series, I'm kind of over I Am Groot at this point.
Yeah, I'm more Guardians of the Galaxy, to be honest. I love James Gunn, but you could have wrote Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 into one 5-star movie. We got a 4 and a 3.5 instead.
Yeah. Spider-Man freshman year. You got Echo, which I don't know I don't know anything about that, to be honest with you. Like
I
you
don't
said,
even know what that is either.
What If Season 2, Miss Marvel, which we've heard a lot about, She-Hulk, which we've heard a lot about, Moon Knight, which we've heard a lot about, and you said there were pictures. I'm going down. Looks like we got a Intertwined. We got a trailer for that. I didn't watch it, so I don't know what it is.
There's that. We've got another Cinderella remake coming called Sneakerella. We've got the logo for Disenchanted, which is the sequel to Enchanted. We've got the photo of the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus 2 on set, which it looks like no time has passed, which is kind of cool. I'm actually excited for that. But yeah,
Spiderwick Chronicles, which
I'm surprised they're remaking after it took a bath like a decade or so ago.
Yeah.
At Paramount, but I guess someone's got to be the next Artemis Fowl.
An Age of Exploration is far from over. Welcome to the Earth series. Will Smith.
Which always looks interesting to me because he's been going through a really cool sort of arc in his career right now, and that's something else we could kind of mention in news, because I don't think I told you, I went to the Will Smith book release party this past Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, I did tell you that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You said it was awesome and you had a great time.
No, it was great because it was like a mixture between, he had like a moderated conversation with Spike Lee talking about the content of the book. And then he goes and like he opens when he comes out with like a big musical number. Then at the end, he sang he did a small set of like a couple of songs, including singing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song, and everyone singing along with him while DJ Jazzy Jeff is behind him doing his thing.
Oh, did they do the thing from, what was the English talk show he was on that they did that?
I don't know.
Graham Norton, I believe.
Oh, I love Graham Norton. Yeah, because another moment of the night was he goes and reads the passage about having his first son, and then raps the lyrics from Just the Two of Us, and he's got a piano accompanist playing Just the Two of Us while he's doing that.
And I can't,
so kind of like an enhanced.
I can't hear Just the Two of Us without thinking of Dr. Evil.
I was waiting for you to say that.
I know you were. Just real quick,
thing here.
High five.
Come on, I hear him. I'm like, from the moment I heard Frau said I have a clone, I knew that in my life I would not be alone. It's that iconic of a song, but then that is an iconic of a moment.
Yes, it really is.
You can't separate them. The song itself is memorable, and then that is it's perfect.
Just the last thing from Disney Plus, real quick. We got the little card of Rescue Rangers.
Cool. Rescue Rangers with John Mulaney and Andy Samberg. We were talking about Will Smith, man.
I know. I just wanted to get that over. Okay. Will Smith is awesome. We get it. He's got a great TikTok account, by the way, if you ever get on the TikTok.
He has become amazing with new media, because while we were waiting for the show to start up, they showed some of his YouTube series.
Yeah.
Like where he was like getting in his best shape. And he's also talking about writing his memoir. It's just really amazing what he's gotten to in his career, where he's just becoming very open. He's mending fences. Like, he talks about getting right with his dad before he passed. And that was one of the most emotional moments of the night, as he talks about his last time talking to his dad the night that he died.
Oh, wow.
And that was that was upsetting. Well, just upsetting, like, it was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, he had Janet Hubert, the original Aunt Viv from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, in the audience. He had Karen Parsons, who played Hillary from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, in the audience. And like the whole, I don't know if you remember, but there was a whole thing where there was kind of a feud between him and the original Aunt Viv.
Yeah.
And they made up they made up for the reunion special, and now they're really good friends. And that was just a really beautiful moment to see, because the moment he introduced her, and then he's like, the original Aunt Viv, and everyone just went nuts. And he was just like so glad that they were responding like that for her. And it was a great. I wish the tour was still going on, but they just ended it last night.
Oh, that's really cool. I wish I could see that. I'm jealous of you, Mike Reyes.
I will tell you this, though. His book is on shelves right now, and if you are more of an audiobook person, he actually reads it.
Oh, that's cool.
I might have to check that out, because they gave you copies of the book when you got tickets to the show, but I'll still read the text, because there's like really cool photos in there from his life. But I would really like to hear him read it. And folks, if you want to read more about that event and some of the stories he told, I believe Cinemablend will have some of those, because I'm Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.
No,
running B-sox on the line.
Oh, crazy. How about that? Yes. All right. Mike Reyes from cinemablend.com joining me on the line to talk about movies and news and all that. There's only one thing left, and we're running real long in the tooth here, but earlier this week, apparently there was a Sony leak, and we may have got confirmation that some things are going to be happening in the new Spider-Man movie that everybody's been denying and all that kind of stuff. Did you get a chance to read any about that?
No, I did not, but I did hear, partially through you, basically that there are photos that are suggesting, yes, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield will be in Spider-Man No Way Home.
And
who could have ever guessed that?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like at some point we all knew it was kind of coming, and you have Andrew Garfield saying, "Hey, I want to get my hopes up," and all that kind of stuff.
That's a typical Marvel line.
See, but there was if I was one of the actors like Kirsten Dunst, there was that earlier this week too, where she was like, "No, I'm not in it." Like, I almost would like screw with the media and the people, like Kirsten Dunst, Mary Jane, be like, "I might be in it," just to see, just to screw with people.
Oh yeah. I had Kevin Costner do that to me once, and it was funny.
What did he do? What did he say he was in?
So he didn't say he was in anything, but the thing was, I was talking to him last year about that movie he did with Diane Lane, Let Him Go.
Yeah.
And I was asking him, because the Snyder Cut was coming for Justice League. It's like, so can we maybe see you in there? And he's like, oh man, a gentleman doesn't kiss and tell. I'm not going to say anything. I guess we'll just see what happens. And it was like, that's like paraphrasing, but the clip is on the site. It is one of the best denials that I have ever heard.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
It was just so like, wow, Kevin Costner just Costnered me, and it was wonderful.
The other really funny thing from the Spider-Man thing this week, and I didn't know it was real until a little bit ago, but the guy that played Spider-Man in the TV series, like back in the 70s, put out a thing saying that I am not in the new No Way Home movie.
Oh yeah, but he would have wanted to be. No, yeah. I saw that too, and it's like that's a good one.
That's creatively funny and fine. I like that. So, all right.
So there's a question I gotta ask you though to wrap this up.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you think it's too early for them to have multiple Spideys in a movie? Because I think it's way too early if the multiverse is going to be the new huge arc that leads us to the next Avengers movies, and like that defines this, like the Infinity, just as like the Infinity Saga had the Gauntlet as its sort of MacGuffin that defined the whole thing. If the multiverse is defining this, is it too early to do multiple Spideys?
No, I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. Spider-Man has always kind of delved into that world of multiple Spider-Men, multiple Spider-People. He's definitely done it more than a lot of other characters out there. And I think it's more accepting. Like if you went through and you try, it's a character I think that can pull it off is the big thing, because it's already got, it's already happened in the comic books a whole lot. Look how they, Miles Morales and Peter Parker shared the spotlight for so many years. And, the stories they did with that, the different universes coming together and so on and so forth. I think it's, of all the Marvel characters, it kind of works really easily, because if you would have tried to gone and done the same premise but with like Captain America, I don't think people accept it. Does that make sense?
Oh no, I get that that's not the question I have. I mean, I get that the character is built for that. I mean, Spider-Verse was the perfect thing, the perfect foundation for that. But what I'm asking is it too early to sort of have that big event? Like maybe
No.
wouldn't you want to wait till like another Spider-Man movie further down in this multiverse line where that's like one of the big surprises you get later instead of we're doing it now. Okay, what's next? Like after that point, where do you go?
I don't think it's too early because let's face it, it's what the original Spider-Man came out in early 2000s, wasn't it?
2002, but that's not even the point. The point is the new arc of the MCU is still forming. The multiverse is still a going concern that's building, or at least that's what we think is the next big push.
Yeah.
So wouldn't that be something that you would put into like an Avengers movie or something, like an Endgame event where all of a sudden the other Spider-Men come in and it's a big crowd moment? Like it kind of feels early for me considering how close we are to the beginning of Phase 4.
I don't think so. Just in my mind, I don't think so. Could you work it into something later down the line and then all of a sudden I think it would be a bigger deal because Spider-Man's already in the MCU, right? Like if that next big reveal moment is the Fantastic Four or the X-Men or something like that.
Right.
I think that's the bigger multiverse reveal later on down the line because, like I said, let's face it, they're already working this in and Spider-Man is already in the MCU.
I guess so. I mean,
yeah, I don't think there's a right answer on this, but I'll just say I don't think it's too early for a Spider-Man movie. I think you've had enough out there. Yeah. But no, I see what you're saying. I don't think it is because, look at it goes back to the talk about the Secret Invasion stuff. It's like if you would have changed the pace and made that your next big, storyline, that probably would have changed the taste in people's mouth of, the universe is always on the line in these things,
Well, that's what's going on here too. It's multiverse or Secret Invasion. The universe is on the line.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm excited to see it. I would like them to work Miles Morales in there because I think that would be
absolutely.
I think that'd be a natural way to get him into the MCU. And you know what? Maybe that's a post-credit scene.
Maybe.
Shoot, you could do that. It was already kind of teased, but Spider-Man 2099, what's his name? The guy who's in Moon Knight.
Oscar Isaac?
Yeah. He was the voice of that guy. You could have him be the, Spider-Man 2099, have him show up as a extra character. That would be surprising. That would be cool.
It would, but I think that they're really saving Miguel O'Hara for Spider-Verse 2. At least I hope they are.
Yeah.
We don't really know yet. No matter what, I just really want them to approach Spider-Man carefully because that's one of my favorites. That's one of the last Marvel franchises I'm still kind of invested in here, along with Doctor Strange. So it's like, please don't bork this up. Please.
Absolutely.
Please.
Absolutely. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joins me every week on the show to talk about movies. Mike, you have yourself a good weekend, okay?
You as well, man.